Vayikra, the third book of the Bible, of the Pentateuch, is called the Book of Sacrifice. And the very first opening verse, Adam ki yakriv mikem korban, a human being, when he shall bring near from yourselves a sacrifice. Very strange way of speaking about it. When you shall bring near from yourselves a sacrifice. Under the banner word Adam, a human being. The truth really is that only human beings are able to give sacrifices, to make sacrifices. It's fascinating. There's no hint in the animal world of one sacrificing for another, giving up his life so that other people may live, presenting gifts one to the other from things that they own themselves. It seems to be unique for the human species to be able to give. And the most important word here is ki yakriv mikem, when a person brings near a sacrificial offering from yourself. Because the greatest gift that one can give another is the gift of oneself. Here I want to make a suggestion. The ability to give sacrifice is limited to the human being, and especially to give part of himself or herself as a sacrificial gift. And the human being is able to do this, and indeed does this. Everyone who goes out to the military, in the deepest way, is ready to give a gift of himself to the country in which he believes. It's very fascinating that this is only the human being. And I believe it harks back to one of the most important verses in the Bible, Genesis chapter 2. It's bound up with the very creation of the first human being. Vayitzer Hashem Elokim et ha'adam afar min ha'adama. And the Lord God, the God of power and the God of love, formed the human being, the first human being, dust from the earth. Vayipach ba'apav nishmat chayim, and breathed into the nostrils of this clay earth dummy that was the first human shape. Nishmat chayim, the soul breath of life. And the human being became a living organism. Now the picture is God exhaling, breathing into the clay dummy, and so creating the human being. And the sacred Zohar, repeated by the Baal HaTanya, the founder of Chabad Hasidut, explains it in very few words, pregnant with meaning. Kol man denafach, anyone who exhales, mitocho nafach, From his innermost essential being does he exhale. He exhales whatever material is within his inner being. And in this manner, he created the first human being. What it really means is that within every human being is a part of God himself. Chelek Elokah Mimal, a part of the divine from on high. God gave part of himself in order to make the first man. And in order to make the first man be in his image, in order to enable the first man, human being, man, woman, to recreate human life from generation to generation, and in order to be God's partners in perfecting his imperfect, incomplete world. But simply put, God gave of himself, his internal divine essence, as it were, to make the human being. This also means that we must walk in God's pathways. And just as God gave of himself to create the first human being, we must help strengthen other human beings whom we meet, intellectually, spiritually, with a certain will to live and to do, by giving part of ourselves to others. The objects that we give them are secondary. The most important thing we can give them is part of our strength, part of our faith, part of our beliefs, and part of our physical substance. But to be human means to be sacrificed, to sacrifice. And we have the ability to sacrifice because God gave of himself when he created the human being. And we must always walk in God's ways. Shabbat Shalom.